What's good, gamers? Don't mind me. I'm just taking out my sorrows on this innocent creature. I need to get a couple drops from this imp for our chunk tasks. So, while I explore my hell and prison for the next while, let's take a look at these chunk tasks, shall we? So, we've got cook a scrambled egg, mine an adamantite bar, smelt an adamantite bar, chop with a mithril axe, which we'll be getting batlawed, obtain a blue wizard hat, and a lumberjack and Draenor diary easy. So the cooking and the magical best in slot are both from that imp that I was taking out my frustrations on. And the adamantite, I would hope, is self-explanatory. So, here we go. This is how I'm going to be spending the next, while. The first of many, mining level 2. Once I get to level 5, I think is iron. Maybe it's 15. I don't quite remember. Anyway, once I get there, things will get a little smoother because power mining iron is basically the fastest mining experience that you can get basically ever. Oh yeah, I got a flip him. We do a little flipping. He noticed I was upset and came to cheer me up, bless him. And uncut gems are actually not useful to us right now, but once we unlock crafting, we'll be real glad that we have them stocked up. Which is another silver lining about this mining grind, is that we will probably stock up a lot on uncut gems. So, just gotta stay positive. This is gonna take a long time. There's really no sugarcoat. Yeah, okay. Already cut, which kind of sucks, but yeah, there's pretty much no two ways about it. This is going to take a long time, and it's going to be not nearly the roughest, but it's going to be a bit of a rough one. We have to get 70 mining. There is a shooting star that lands in Al-Kharid and the Al-Kharid mine. However, my rule set does not require me to mine the max level of shooting star. I considered doing one of the you get 10 levels of star that you have to mine per shooting star location you get, which a lot of people I've seen do. But honestly, we'll be at 70 by the time we finish this grind anyway. So the chances of us hitting 7 shooting star locations before we get to 90 mining is actually, I think, literally 0. I'm pretty sure there's only 5 mining spots in the desert for shooting stars. Could be wrong, there could be 6. Yeah, so I'm just not going to bother with that. I am going to be probably mining quite a bit of shooting stars because I do not want to be present for all of this mining. This is one of the parts about mining that sucks, that makes it worse, a lot worse than fishing and woodcutting. So that no matter what rock you're mining, you only get 1 ore out of it. And now that we're 5, obviously we can mine iron, which will make a big difference. We're basically done with bronze now since we have 15 smithing, so we'll never mine that again. But yeah, you can't just leave your character running like you can when you're chopping willows or catching swordfish or sharks or something. So it's a lot more active. That's probably the biggest like pain point of this for me, is that rather than being able to fire and forget, I have to like keep going. And once we get to higher tier stuff, it won't matter that much. But, and as you can see, I mean, the levels right now are coming fast. We're basically going to mine iron straight to coal. And on that note, actually, let's go over my plans. So as it stands right now, our options are basically to only mine iron straight through the whole time, which is, I think it's like, you know what, I'm actually going to do the math 1 second. So for level 70 mining, it will take us about 21,000 iron ores. Just going straight iron ore, nothing else. Which is pretty rough when you remember that I do have to run these to the bank every time. Because the bank, as you can see, is pretty far away. I'm just thinking of Temperos right now, praying about fishing. Yeah, so, you know, it's pretty rough. And then I will have to take all those iron bars, smelt it down. I'll make about 10,000 iron, give or take, since there's a 50% chance, but I'm also statistically quite unlucky. So I'm baking a little extra in there, which seems like a lot of iron until you do the math and see that to get to level 70, you need 29,409 iron bars from level 15. So the iron grind to 70 mining will be just about a third of the mining that I actually have to do to get the prerequisite 70 smithing, which is where things start to really get rough. The plus side of this, of course, is that once my mining level is higher, I will be mining faster. So the stuff after will probably not take much longer. But the real problem with this is where I'm currently mining, the vast majority of my time is not spent actually mining, it's spent running, and because I have level 1 agility, slowly walking to and from the quarry, which is where the time sink really comes from. But yeah, rather than the 21,000 I need to get to mining level 70, I actually have to mine 60,000 iron, give or take, to actually get the prerequisite smithing level. And I could swap to steel. With my coal availability, meaningfully swapping to mithril or adamant is, there's basically like no point. There are a few coal rocks in this mine, but considering mithril needs 4 already, it's basically like not worth the time. I could do steel, and I may do at least a bit of steel, but I mean, regardless, it's gonna basically shake down to about the same amount no matter what. Experience-wise, swapping to steel cuts off about 10,000 of the required bars, which means when you factor in needing 2 pieces of coal for every steel bar you make, it shaves off exactly 0 of the ores required to mine. So it is a wash, basically. The coal takes much longer to mine, which means that I probably will do some when I need a slightly lower activity training method, like when I'm eating or something and there's no shooting stars. But for the most part, iron is gonna... The thing that really gets me It's rough. Well, you can see. I do have a bronze pickaxe, which is an 8-tick pickaxe. For those who didn't know, how pickaxes work is rather than making you more likely to mine the rock you're swinging at, they make you try to swing at the rock faster, basically. When I see the imp here, I am just like smashing him, because both the hat and the egg are pretty common drops from him, so I don't anticipate that it'll take very long. Literally next clip, of course. That is a chunk task complete. Magic best in slot. And drip best in slot. Blue wizard hat. And I am stuck with a bronze pickaxe. I probably could... Actually, now that I say that, I'm not even sure if I have access to an item that would let me tick manipulate. There might be something in my chunk, but I genuinely can't think of what it would be. You know what? If you know of something in my chunks that would let me tick manipulate mining with the chunks I have access to, please genuinely leave it in the comments, because I can't think of anything. It's gonna take a while. I'm gonna prioritize. I'm mostly just smelting here because I like need some break. But my plan at the moment is to prioritize mining and probably get that to 70, like, right up as fast as I can. So, I was not wearing any gear to stay light. But then I remembered, in this world it's drip or drown. And brother, I brought my floaties. So... this might make me like 1% less efficient, but I just truly don't care. I'd rather look cool. You know what I mean? You don't need to know how to play, you just need to look bitchin'. Racking my brains, try to think of any way to unlock crafting without just lamping it once I get my hunter to 5. And I can't think of anything unless... once I get to some of the other cities... there's a possibility, like Sophonim has a spinning wheel, and Narda has some weird stuff too, I think. So there is potential that I can find some cheeky way to do it, like leveling construction at Temperos, which is my plan. I actually don't think I've been in Sophonim aside from doing contact. I think I did contact on my iron and then just never went back. So just to give you an idea of my familiarity with this area, it's non-existent basically, which is why part of the reason I picked down here, because I thought it would be fun. Knowing that there's teaks, I just moused over that for a second, but knowing that there's teaks gives me a lot of hope. There's multiple teak trees in the desert, and getting any of them will make the woodcutting fire making grind infinitely less bad. It doesn't help me with fletching, but the plus side of fletching is that I will probably have a lot of bars and stuff left over, which I can just kind of like directly pivot into helping with fletching. Because otherwise, I'm basically making, like, arrow shafts to level 83, and that's just, like... I don't know if anyone is willing to do that. So, I will be heavily relying on making arrows, which is good, because I am pretty limited on sources for arrows anyway. So, I'll have to, regardless. So, better to make them while I'm leveling than have to scrounge for them afterwards. Once I unlock coal, I will be getting coal. I know it's slightly less efficient overall than iron, but counterpoint, I'm very unlucky. And also, in addition to that, I love having a sure thing, you know what I mean? For the record, I have currently played for just under 1 full day of playtime. 23 hours and 16 minutes. I'm expecting this grind to take optimistically like 100 hours. That is like pure guesstimation. I don't actually know how long it will take, so it'll be interesting to see. But my expectation currently is that it'll take about 100 hours. So, one thing that I noticed, the elephant in the room that other people may have noticed too, that I noticed when I took that load of iron up to the anvil, is that you can't actually smith pickaxes. And the discovery of this actually, I think, shook me to my core more than the run up the mountain to the anvil demoralized me, because I had to accept the fate of me getting to 70 mining with only a bronze pick. So it actually didn't really matter that I had rolled the anvil before this, because I can't make a better pickaxe. I was genuinely shocked to learn this, because to me it doesn't make any sense. And Jagex, you should change this. I'd really appreciate that. Kinda sucks, not gonna lie. I have so many clips that I took from while I was doing that are just like completely useless. And I can tell I must have been getting demoralized, because they're just like all me hitting a rock in the hot sun. And man, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm currently at 31 mining and 26 smithing. It's going, like, the early levels are the fast ones, though. Those aren't the ones that I'm worried about. We gotta take them as we come. I haven't really bothered starting with stars yet, and that will probably help us getting some passive mining. I would rather get early levels with the stars and then come back with a higher mining level less passively and go over my target. While I'm on my lunch break at work or something, I can easily do a star, but I can't power mine like 900 iron. I've been mining coal now that I have 30 mining. It's slow going, as I expect you can see for yourself. I'm currently having second thoughts about integrating steel into my smithing, and I've completely abandoned the thought of doing anything with mithril or adamantite, aside from, like, bare minimum the gear crafting that I'm gonna use, because they use way too much coal, and actually, like, mining coal is a fool's errand, basically, and I don't have any good sources of coal. Anyway, all that to say, coal takes a really, really long time to mine. And also, I love a delicious coffee. But, let's take a second, because honestly, I need a break from mining to talk about exceptions. There are quite a few exceptions that I think would make the account both more interesting and more fun, which I'm kind of leaning towards. But also, more importantly, I was thinking about it for more than like 30 seconds, and I remembered that without Gertrude's cat, you can't do contact to get into Sophenheim, which means you can't actually do Toa. So, Gertrude's cat is a non-negotiable exception for what I want to do. And I am just going to go and do it real quick. So, yeah, let's grab our bucket and cash and get a cat. And we're back in the chunk. If I ever get stuck on Toa, I'll get my cat to take over. So there are more exceptions on the docket. The main ones I can think of are buying a house, because I did see that they patched Temperos, so you could no longer get construction experience without owning a house. So that one I will probably nip back out and pick up. I also have to do Prince Ali Rescue because I checked the quest requirements for Beneath Cursed Sands, and you do need to have that finished. I don't know why I didn't do that in the beginning, but anyway. And then the fourth and final exception that I'm currently mulling over, and why I have not put all of them in this video, and I'm going to end the video on just the first one, is I am still thinking about whether or not I want to unlock Giant's Foundry. I'm currently leaning towards unlocking it, because it'll give me a lot more stuff that I think is interesting, and also it is part of the desert. And I do kind of feel like I'm doing a desert-based account. It feels kind of like I'm missing something by not actually engaging with the desert and just doing the same smithing grind that I would be doing anywhere. I feel like since the area does have a unique way to train it, I should, you know, engage with that content. That's kind of like the whole point of me being out here. So I probably will, but I'm going to sleep on it for a bit to make sure. I'm not in any real hurry because I'm not going to be seriously training smithing until my mining is at least 70, which is quite a bit off. So yeah, just wanted to let you know my thought process on that, regardless of whether or not I do it. And thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe. I'm trying to bulk those numbers up. And yeah, I'll see you next time.